Welcome to Mangastorian's Complete Story Series. Today we're going to be covering Attack on Titan Before the Fall Volume 1. All alterations to the panel text and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Don't forget guys, if you want more Attack on Titan and more Mangastorian, give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments down below what your favorite part of this story is, because you know what? YouTube's changing things and we need your likes. The bell tolls over the city in Wall Maria as a severed head is flung over it. Survey Corps members Sorum and Carlo return as they hear the bell, but what they see is destruction everywhere. The outer city was destroyed by a Titan. It took 30 years for them to forget the terror of the Titans, but now that terror is back. As Sorum and Carlo get back to the inner walls, they see a group of people standing by the gates, a group going by the name the Titan Worshippers. Among that group, Elena Munsell, the widow of the squad leader Heath, whose head was thrown over the wall. The group begins to chant, "Open the gate, deliver them to the Titans." Sorum tries to tell her to stop, but Carlo stops him, claiming that they just want to get attention. Soon everyone's attention is focused upwards to an official from the royal court who is being held hostage. The town bell rings again and Elena calls out to them to give them true freedom. And then the executioner from above cuts the official's head off. Everyone begins to hear rumbling, and they see the gates begin to open, and then a low thud. The thud gets louder and louder, and everyone sees a hand reach down into the gateway, and the face of a smiling Titan behind it. The townspeople begin to run as the smaller Titans begin running into the city, grabbing any human that they can and biting into them. After the screams begin to die down, Sorum asks if the Titans have left, and Carlos says that he heard some civilians ran outside the gates to lure them away. Or maybe they just weren't hungry anymore. The two begin to walk through the carnage smeared across the city, and they find a pile of bodies. But this pile was just the bodies that had been spit back up, not fully digested. Sorum kicks a rock, shouting that if they can't even keep them in their stomachs, don't eat them! None of this makes any sense! And Carlo notices one person in the pile, Elena, the newly married and pregnant Elena. Carlo tells Sorum to go ahead and get the garrison to take care of this, and then there's a rumble. Both of them look back at Elena and Sorum asks if it's possible that a new Titan can be born from vomit, but Carlo tells him that there's no way. And then he begins to think, what if he can't let the seed of a Titan back into the Shinganshina district? Carlo raises his sword and he moves closer to Elena's body, and then with one swing to her stomach, a small baby falls out, alive. Sorum looks at it stating, this is the son of a Titan, and 13 years later, that same baby boy grew up, living in a cell. Inside Wall Shina, footsteps can be heard coming closer and closer to the cell of the son of a Titan. In front of the cell stands the great merchant, Dario, looking at this son of the Titan named Kuklo. The old man holding Kuklo captive tells Dario that he made a great purchase. There were some other eccentric individuals who were interested in Kuklo as well, some gloomy men dressed in black rags. He said that he could have the boy, but no reason as to why. But you know what? None of that matters now. Sometime later, Kuklo now sits in a cell in Dario's mansion, feeding off anything that moves, including a spider. As he crunches down on it, the door to his cell opens and a young boy stands there asking if this is the Titan boy. Dario says, don't get close to him, Zavi. And then Dario says that he will be the head of the military someday, so think of this boy as an investment. Zavi runs up, kicking Kuklo across the face, stating, see, he'll destroy the Titans himself. Days pass, and each morning, the same as before, Zavi wakes Kuklo up by beating him down. This day, though, as Kuklo lays on the floor, Zavi tells him to stop being so weak and fight back already. Kuklo picks himself up, mimicking Zavi, holding his fists out, trying to say the words, fight back. Zavi smiles, telling him, that's better, and he punches him in the head. He continues beating down on Kuklo, asking, what do humans taste like anyway? I bet they're delicious. And as he pulls his hand back, looking at the blood from Kuklo, he licks it, asking if he was to eat a Titan, would he gain their strength? More time passes, and Kuklo never leaves his cell as Dario begins to show him off to the other nobles. Zavi would bring others to watch him beat him down. This was Kuklo's life. One night upstairs, Zavi's sister, Charlie, lays awake in bed holding a knife. She tells herself she knows what her father is doing is for Zavi's sake, but it should not be alive in their house. That's why that Titan, that monster, she's got to. The next morning, the family takes a trip to Wall Maria. As Charlie stares at the wall, she wonders what it's like outside of those walls. The three take a ride to the top, and she looks out, and all she can see is the empty wasteland as far as the eye can see. But what if there's a strange land beyond that? Zavi calls out that he sees a Titan, and as the group looks at it, Charlie's look changes, and she takes out her knife, stating that she has to be the one to kill the Titan's son. As the night begins to set, Charlie walks through her home, knife in hand, ready to kill the Titan's son. Ever since she was born, her father has seen her as nothing more than a pawn to be married off to serve whatever need fulfills the family. But if she can save the people of this town, even dying in the process, then at least her life would mean something. The door to Kuklo's cell swings open, and she walks through, pointing the knife at him. She inches closer and closer, and she tells it not to fight back. But suddenly, Kuklo gets up. She becomes startled, and she drops the knife, and he picks it up. She tries to grab that knife, but as Kuklo holds it out, she sees that he doesn't have the knife pointed at her. He's pointed it at his own chest. She pulls away, and the knife begins to fall, and Kuklo picks it back up, quietly stating, "Fight back." For a moment, Charlie stops and then notices that he's talking, but he's a Titan. Kuklo then says, "Zavi," and Charlie asks if he's really a Titan's son. Kuklo stands for a moment and then his stomach begins to gurgle. She runs out of the cell and shortly returns holding a basket of food, asking if he's hungry. Just as the basket is set down, Kuklo reaches out, stuffing his mouth with as much food as he can, and Charlie looks at him asking if he's really a Titan. Is he? All of the Titans that she's seen are monsters, but this one just looks like any other person. She then asks, what is his name? If he's not a Titan, he must have a name, right? He licks his fingers, and he tells her, Kuklo. She then introduces herself as Charlie, and tells him that it's nice to meet him. Kuklo smiles, and he tells her, nice to meet you. Since then, Charlie would bring Kuklo books with pictures in them, showing him the maps of the world. And while looking at his walls, he sees a picture of a Titan, and he points at it stating, that's man. And she tells him no, that's a Titan. And then Kuklo thinks about it. That must be why everyone is afraid of him. He must learn about the Titans. So for the next 6 months, Charlie helps Kuklo learn about the world, mostly about the humans and Titans. He was learning things so fast, not to make up for his time locked away, but he did it because it was necessary for him to survive. While he was alone, Kuklo would plan on making his escape. However, he knew that he could never talk to Zavi or Dario, so he would just play the part of the Titan's son until his plan was ready. 2 years passed and the family would sit, having their dinner before Zavi would leave for the military. But in those 2 years, Dario's investment paid off. Now Zavi has the confidence to become a strong leader. As Charlie watches, she remains quiet, and Dario tells her that this is no time for mourning about her brother leaving. She's about to be very busy when they finalize her marriage soon. Back down in the cell, Kuklo sits, waiting until he hears a knock at the door. He sees Charlie and he thinks about how if it wasn't for her, he would still just be the Titan's son. She sits next to him, stating that she wants to leave. Their father is going to sell him off after her brother leaves. Kuklo then asks if he must hurry and escape then, and she tells him yes, tomorrow night. She will get him clothes and money, but she has to leave soon, or else she will be married off, and unable to help him. Kuklo smiles and tells her, then come with him. He'll take back his life. That's why he's leaving. It's bad to be in a cage, so she can leave too. They can go together. Just leave everything to him. And this begins the new chapter of our Attack on Titan series. Now don't worry, once chapter 88 comes out, we will do the next part of the main storyline. But, like I said, let us know in the comments down below what you think of the Before the Fall storyline. And don't forget, if you want more Attack on Titan, if you want more manga story, then support this channel by subscribing and giving it a like. I'll see you guys on Twitter @Mangastorian, and I hope you guys enjoyed.